Hey, what's going on? My name is Mike Toledo, and I'm going to talk about how I start dents, like pretty much more bigger ones or difficult ones with glue pulling. Now, I'm not going to go into covering the basics of glue pulling because we cover that in the beginner section of the glue pulling. Now, this video will be why I chose different approaches and tools used on certain dents with glue pulling. Now, it could be with a flat bar, slide hammer, mini lifter, super tabs, crease tabs, or common smaller tabs.
Do you understand?
Without going too far off track, I just wanted to mention two things. Number one, stay open-minded.
All right.
Now that means if you see different things, don't just say that's junk. Really give it a good thought, give it a good investigation, research it, see if it's going to work for you. Number two, become MMD. Now you've probably heard me say this before on some talk show radios and whatnot. I've been recently saying on some last videos. But that stands for mixed martial dents. Now I know you think that's funny, and it is kind of, it's meant to be have a little chuckle, but it really is true. That means you've got to be good in every aspect of PDR, like a black belt.
I didn't know that.
From hail damage repair to complex big dents, I'm not joking. You got to know how it's done, but do it well. You never know which door of opportunity comes knocking. Prepare yourself and learn anything you can that will help you become more efficient and more well-rounded tech. Now, this is what this video has to offer. Lots of ideas and approaches how to start dents with glue pulling. Now we're going to talk about some big dents. Now, first of all, we're going to probably show you the Mazda Miata. Now, the big dents to me always need a help starting with glue. The more of the meat I can get out, the smoother the dent will become. Except on this Mazda Miata. Now this kind of became a mess before it got better. Again, if I didn't know how to properly remove crowns, highs, or reading my reflection, and I do mention this quite a bit in other videos, you probably won't get that far. Now, if I didn't know how to properly remove crowns, highs, or reading reflection, it would just become a big mess. Really a big mess. Probably about 3 years ago, this might not have been possible because of the deep impact. Using rods or soft tips would have just added push marks everywhere and would have made it look worse and definitely made more work for me to do in the end. And that's why we use glue pulling, is to cut down the time to repair to finish. Now, I placed the super tabs on the outside because the metal is just too stretched in the center. Even if I could pull from the direct center, I would have stretched the center and caused the metal to oil can, and then jeopardize the whole repair. Besides, it was way too deep, there was too much tension in the center, and you're just not going to get the pull like you normally would on any other type of dent. Now I just needed to get the dent started so I could get the next pull. Now it's very important you make sure your glue gun is very hot. Temperature of the panel plays a part as well. Actually, not just a part, but a big part. If your panel's too cold, the glue won't bond to the panel. I did try the Atlas Titan tabs, but the dent was just too enormous for the Titans to grab consistently. They, however, work great on smaller, larger dents. As for your slide hammer, you want a heavier one. I prefer a 3 to 5 pound slide hammer. Now you'll definitely need one if you pull heavy dents like you see here. A lighter slide hammer will demand more energy and sloppy pulls. Don't get me wrong, a lighter slide hammer has its place, and I mainly use them the majority of the time for common pulls. Now, as I mentioned before, there are severe crowns all around the dent. I want to relieve the pressure from below the crowns. That's why I'm glue pulling all around the dent. If I try to tap down first, or if I would have created a much bigger mess than what you probably see here. Now I know it's messy now, but it's nothing compared to what it would have been if I would have tapped down all these little tap downs with the sharp tap down or any kind of tap down. It's just going to force those crowns, and you're going to put pits in there. Now that would have created so much work for me in the end of the repair. Remember, the last 5-10% of your dent is finishing, and that takes the longest. So why make it longer if you can help avoid it in the first place? I'll be showing you how I did it step by step throughout this video, especially on different dents as well. Now, if you haven't seen these tabs before, they are the super tabs made by Kiko. They really changed the game when it comes to removing big dents. They grab very well. Now, again, you're going to have to keep in mind about the weather temperature. If the temperature of the panel is too cold, that glue will not bond. You will not grab nothing. If the panel's too hot, it'll be too gooey and you won't get a good pull at all as well. Now, here are some good tips on